Hi, I'm Luke and I directed Consequential.
Hi, I'm Caine and I played Jack in Consequential.
Hi, I'm Ashley and I play Lewis in Consequential.
So, with the film being just released, we wanted to do something a little more behind the scenes as to how the film was made. But with the whole COVID-19 situation going on right now, it's quite difficult for all of us to get into contact with each other. So FaceTime and Messenger is the only really ways that we can do that. And so I wanted to put a little behind the scenes video, like with all the bloopers and on set footage and things like that. But we also wanted to give you a little insight into what it was like to make the film, and any challenges that we came across. So let's get to it.
What we do here is go back.
So when we made the film, we recorded it. It was like the start of this year. I think it was around probably February time. Editing wise, it took me about just over a month. And the whole reason why it was created was for my final college project. And all three of us have known each other, I want to say like 4 or 5 years now, probably. We've done other bits together, other projects. It just seemed really, the perfect timing, really. So yeah, Ash, I was just thinking, mate. In terms of playing the character of Lewis, how did you find like handling being on set and dealing with all the camera stuff, as well as like learning lines? I just wonder what was that experience like.
It was very challenging to say the least, as it's my first time like properly doing a professional form of acting. I've only done like bits here and there from past like little videos and skits that we've done in the past. But no, I found it really challenging, but overall it was a very successful experience, and I feel like it's going to help me in the future if I'm going to do more films like this and short films to help boost my confidence and help bring me in a better actor and make it more professional for the video.
Yeah, definitely. That's cool, man. Yeah. I couldn't agree more actually. I think it helped that we actually knew each other quite well when it came to being on set. Because I think I've working on other films that can be kind of awkward. Is say if you're meeting actors for the first time like an hour ago, and then suddenly you're having to shout direction in their face, or when tensions get high. Like particularly with the actual car conversation scene. That scene in particular was quite difficult to film because it was a public place. We were learning the lines almost as we were filming it, just before. Obviously we had a script and things, but in terms of timing, with that scene it was quite edgy because we thought it'd only take about an hour to an hour and a half, but because it was so fast paced it took like almost 4 hours, I think it was, at the end of the day. And it was lucky that lighting stayed on our side. But yeah, that was probably my favourite scene, one of the favourite scenes to film. Although the action scene was pretty good. Caine, what was your sort of favourite scene to film, dude?
I think my favourite scene to film was the scene where we went to the garages. Just because obviously I love guns and I love filming, and putting them two together is just like a dream. So being able to do that scene and me featuring in it as something as epic as it is, I enjoyed it. Yeah, I loved it.
Sweet, yeah. I just wanted to sort of make a note on that actually, in terms of if there is any sort of younger filmmakers, let's say, because I don't know how many, we're making films for like 3 or 4 years with action scenes and stuff. Wherever we film normally, or we try to anyway, if we're filming with like prop guns or anything, it's always on private land.
Yes.
We try to anyway. And if you are, from like other past experiences, I won't go into detail, but it's always better. Yeah, Ash knows what I'm on about. It's always better to get like official police permission. And I think it can seem quite scary when you do that first off. Young filmmakers, say few of you maybe under 18 or whatever. It just look at the laws. It's all you can do it perfectly legally. We've lost Caine. That's fine. No worries. You can do it perfectly legally. And what we did when we were filming, we just my actual dad, he's an ex-police officer, and there's like an email that you can use. He's back. There we go. There's an email you can use to get in contact with your local police, and you can tell them where you're filming, for how long, what you're going to be using, just so they can know if you get any sort of complaints or anything like that, that they have a pre-warning basically, and no one's going to sort of ring you up thinking that there's 3 guys using real firearms on like a public location or anything like that. But yeah, no, it was definitely it kind of built up the professionalism of the film, I think, when we had to do that. Because I think beforehand, if you're filming with just sort of 3 young guys and you don't really have permission, it can seem a little bit dodgy with local businesses and things. But yeah, that was a really fun scene to film actually. Yeah.
I think a little to add on that is stuff to do with like locations and whatnot. Try and go for a location that you know well as well, as much as you do like with lighting and where you want to shoot. It's also a good place, to know where you film in, etc.
Yeah, definitely. I think with having that land as to access, it made life so much easier because we could actually scout it beforehand. We could see what cars we wanted, what lighting it'd be like on the day. Weather's always a bit here and there because you never really know. But yeah, definitely, it made life so much easier.
Also, make sure that you're very courteous to the people around you, and if the people come towards you, you obviously put them, if you're playing with problems, whatever, you put them down and just make sure you're wearing high vis, make sure you're showing that you're professional and that you're working on set, as well as also just be aware of your surroundings and make sure you use the space adequately and use it well. Don't use it when there are people around. Wait till people have gone or moved to a new location.
Yeah, definitely. I couldn't agree more with that. Yeah. High vis is probably the number one thing because it's just a universal thing that people know. It can, it just makes you. It doesn't fake your professionalism, but if people see it, they're gonna be less likely to sort of start questioning what you're doing.
It makes them aware about it.
It makes them aware. It makes your life on set much easier and smoother. Because you're not having to deal with sort of crowd control or anything like that. Yeah.
I think there's also one final point that I'd like to make out is that when you do a film or make a film, trying to use like other people's like special abilities, so to speak, because other people might not say be good at filming, and you are, but you're taking control of, say, the editing or lighting, etc.
Definitely.
So for other people to help each other out in the projects, I think that should be number one priority.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Also important to make sure that you have crew management as well. So if you've got like a crew of 3 or 4 or however many you want, make sure that each person has their own role and knows what they're doing.
Yes.
If no one knows what they're doing, it can end up being like, oh, well, I was doing this, I was supposed to be doing this, and it just comes in a mismatch and just gets,
it becomes a little bit of a controlled havoc almost, doesn't it? Yeah. It's definitely it's about pre-planning. That's all it is. Yeah. Planning and preparation, especially when you're doing a shoot like that, where you've got, even if there's literally, like it was for us, there's only 3 guys. It was still taken in terms of filming and stuff. But even then, it can become, if you're not used to that kind of, keeping track of props, keeping track of lighting, it's all continuity. So even if there's only 3 guys, it's still a lot to be processing.
Yeah.
And if you haven't gone through all that beforehand, if you just go right action, it's going to become a mess, like almost straight away, because you're going to have no idea where something's meant to be, or a particular person meant to stand, or anything like that. Just keeping track of it is just the biggest key, I'd say. And utilize your script, definitely. Like if you can have copies of it. If the actors have them or if the director has them, just as many people as you can really, before you start shooting preferably. That way everyone knows that you can refer back to it if you need it, and also it's useful to make notes as well. I find that particularly with directing, even though it was again only just 3 of us, it was useful to have that to hand, so that I could sort of, you can almost go back to when you wrote it. I found, back to the car scene again, you could give little notes. So like when we were doing takes, it wouldn't be that something went wrong in that take. It'd be like how you wanted the line to be said in a different way. And that's what I enjoyed actually most about with all the talking scenes, is once you were used to saying a line, you could then say I did to Caine a couple of times, you could say, okay, that was cool. Why don't you try it with this going through your head or thinking it like this? So they say the exact same thing, but just in a different mannerism, or with something like a different. I don't know. I don't want to say motivation because it sounds a bit cringy, but a different storyline in the head a little bit. Yeah. So I don't know if is there anything else you want to discuss at all or talk about?
So what you was on about there, I think I would use the phrase YOLOing it on set. So a good thing to have when filming and being the character is to literally be the character, and if you forget any lines or forget anything that you need to do in terms of like moving from one scene to another, etc. I think using your own twist on it and having your own twist on things is definitely a good skill to have in terms of being in front of the camera.
Improvisation.
Yes.
Yeah, 100%. Definitely on smaller projects like this where you can get away with it, it's so useful to have. Especially when you're on like tighter deadlines for like how long you can be at a location, things like that. If you can just go with the flow, and if you know the storyline and the script or where it's going well enough, and you're able to do that, like you say, if you're able to improvise, it just makes things so much smoother. Yeah, I'm really happy.
I think planning ahead's another one as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Like planning there and then, or in the same month, to say a couple months back is gonna give your team a lot of ideas, a lot of setting locations, a lot of script ideas, and it will make your production a lot more, what's the word, secure, a lot more professional as well if you plan ahead.
100%. Yeah, awesome. So I'm really pleased with how it turned out, and I think I'd like to say that you guys are too.
Yeah.
What will be released?
Can I have one last thing?
Yeah.
We talked about this for ages, so you never know, maybe we'll have part 2 where we just talk about everything about filming, how to do it, all the ins and outs. You never know, we might give you it all. Anyway, but I just wanted to say, it's always I forgot what I was going to say now. I knew this would happen. Always make sure that you have some sort of inspiration. Always use inspiration to your advantage. Not necessarily copying people's ideas, but just make sure that if you haven't got a clue on what to do or you can't think of anything to do, look up other people that have made short films and take what they've used but put it in your own way, like make your own spin on it.
Yeah, definitely.
It's always a good way to do that, because if you don't use inspiration, you just be stuck at a dead end where you don't have any ideas what to do. Yeah,
definitely. Because I think you're starting on that blank canvas, aren't you, and thinking, what do I want to make? And having almost a little bank, either a bank of ideas or a bank, like you say, of things you've seen, is so useful. And I think if you are wanting to get into sort of, even not professionally, just as a hobby or anything like that, it's just good to get into the practice of like. So I have a thing now on my Instagram is really useful. So if you see like a clip or something, and you can save it, and then you just make like a bank of like all these different things that you've seen, and you want to say, I want to use that idea, and you can like pickpocket different sort of little snippets of like ideas or effects even, because I'm a big visual effects guy, and so I have like a massive, like probably a good 100 odd like videos from Instagram that I've just saved and said, okay, I want to try and use this in something, or try to use that, and that can actually give you a really good basis to make a script on. So if it's like a scene or a visual effects shot or something like that, and you're almost cherry picking from this sort of list of things that you then can start to construct like a storyline and a narrative around. Yeah, man. Yeah, like I say, I'm really happy with it. I hope you guys enjoyed the behind the scenes anyway. There's some funny moments in there. There's some tense moments when pressure gets high on set. But yeah, like I say, it's all good fun. And if you're thinking about getting into filmmaking, just do it. The good thing about being in the modern time we are, there's no limitation. You can make a short film on your iPhone. It's in your pocket. And you can. It's so accessible now, which is really nice. Awesome. So we'll leave you with these behind the scenes clips, and we'll see you in the next one. Awesome. All right. See you later.
Action. What you just done?
Wow. When the door opened that much, it fucking flew off. Whoops. Let's get it.
rolling, so I'll just let you go whenever. Hey.
Yeah. Haven't
Excited?
filmed in a while.
Yeah, you know.
We'll see how it
You
goes.
know. We'll see how it goes.
Are you going?
Yeah.
I need to walk in though.
Oh, right.
Right, we never saw him again. Luckily for us, we're going to the camera systems. All we know is it says, I need to stop speaking so fast. That is what I need to do.
This is behind the scenes, don't worry.
We cannot be allowed to leave. So
Nailed it.
approach the warehouse. What's the line? Don't want a situation like last time, do we?
So I'm just going straight from my line, yeah?
Yeah. Roll for sound. And action.
Well, what's the setup? What have they asked for?
Why?
It's just, what's the setup? What have they asked for?
What's the setup? What they asked for?
Okay, I'm rolling and action.
Yeah, but this time it's different, mate. Right, wait these for a...
It's all good?
Yeah, but this time it's different, mate. Go again. Don't know if you
What's the setup?
As
What
if
are they
you're
asking
laughing.
for?
As if.
don't know anything.
Well, what are they asked? Well, what?
Come on. Go back to you, Mark. One more. Action. Hold for sound. Sirens. No, what was that?
That's the one.
Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. Perfect. Forgot. Alright, carry on. Well, now what?
For what? What's the f***ing first line, man?
Look, you know that letter, yeah? I was giving it. Oh,
That was fun.
all kinds of
Jesus.
apparently trying to leave the country. I was supposed to say the next few days after it. Nothing. He's just asking if he's got...
And is it the camera?
Just give me the phone.
Why?
No message. No. Are you stupid?
And he ends the.
Slipping down, man.
Like when
Shut up.
Spider-Man
Who are you
in.
covering me from?
Did your contact number tell you that?
Tell you what?
Tell you what?
I'm rolling when you're ready.
Hard. Come on, Greg, all day, come on.
Right. Did your contact tell you that my pajamas are in the bottom drawer? Lewis,
I can't get over.
did your contact ever tell you that? Did your contact ever tell you? Tell you what? I don't know. Go to bed. Contact ever tell you that? What the? For f***'s sake! No, because you. So how much we get?
And action.